Where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
I'm black.
You're black? You know that your purse is black.
Yes.
If you put your hands to your purse, are you the same color?
No.
No. So you can't be black. That's not an ethnicity. So what is your ethnicity?
African American.
African American is two different continents. There's over 60 something countries in the continent of Africa. You want to try again?
I don't know where I'm from.
You don't know where you're from?
I'm from Philly.
You're from Philadelphia, but your ethnicity you're not sure of.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me show you something.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So God's enemies said, come, let's cut God's people off from being a nation. And as we just concluded, you don't know your ethnicity. You don't know where you come from.
That the name of Israel be no more a remembrance.
The purpose of God's enemies cutting off God's people was so that they don't know that they're the Israelites. Do you know that the Bible is the written history of the children of Israel? You didn't know that?
Matthew chapter 15 and 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right, Christ answered and said that he's not sent to nobody but the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the only people that I see lost out here is the so-called black and native Indians, the blacks and Hispanics. English was forced on you. They called you a color out of a crayon box. In 1492, Christopher Columbus came to Puerto Rico, and he forced the Taino Indians into captivity and put them on slave ships. He took their language and forced Spanish onto them. He called them Puerto Rican. That's not their original ethnicity. The Jamaicans, they weren't always called Jamaican. The Haitians, the Dominicans, the Cubans, the Colombians, the Mexicans. We were all stripped from our heritage, our identity. God's enemies did this to us so that we won't know who we are. But Christ said he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the whole purpose that these other nations cut our identity was so that we won't know that we're the Israelites. But this is who Christ came for.
Forgive me for my sins, Baba Kasha, still like ya, called up a lot for ya, how about Shimmy, I was shot, but I could die. Forgive me, please have mercy on my soul. Father, forgive me, please bring comfort to my woes. Father, forgive me, show me that path, show me thy road.
All praise to the Most High, man. We love you, King.
I love you too, man.
Y'all believe in God?
It's like men.
Huh?
Men. Like,
Mid?
yeah.
What makes you mid about believing in God?
I'm not fully like religious, but I still like believe in it.
What if I told you the Bible doesn't teach religion?
Oh.
The Bible teaches the history of a certain particular group of people. Let me show you something. Bring out Revelation 1 and 13. Where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
I'm black.
You're black? You know that your purse is black.
Yes.
If you put your hands to your purse, are you the same color?
No.
No. So you can't be black. That's not an ethnicity. So what is your ethnicity?
African American.
African American is two different continents. There's over 60 something countries in the continent of Africa. You want to try again?
I don't know where I'm from.
You don't know where you're from?
I'm from Philly.
You're from Philadelphia, but your ethnicity you're not sure of.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me show you something. Go to Psalms 83 and 1. I'm going to show you that this is prophetic, that there will be a people that will lose their identity. Watch this.
Psalm chapter 83 for the top. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Right, God's enemies make a tumult. They come and boast themselves against God. Keep going. So God has enemies, according to the Bible. Keep going.
And they that hate thee have lifted up thy head.
Those that hate God have lifted up their head proudly above the wisdom of God. Keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So God's enemies have taken crafty counsel against God's people. So God has a people, and it's not all people. Because God's enemies made a crafty counsel against them. Keep going.
and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So God's enemies said, come, let's cut God's people off from being a nation. And as we just concluded, you don't know your ethnicity. You don't know where you come from. Not everybody on the earth can reside with that. They can't share that. If I ask the East Indian where they come from, they're going to say India. If we ask a European Caucasian, they'll tell us somewhere in Europe. If we ask the Chinese, they'll tell us somewhere in China and so on. But when we ask the so-called black woman, where does she come from? They don't know. Because God said that God's enemies will cut God's people off from being a nation. Keep going.
That the name of Israel be no more in remembrance.
The purpose of God's enemies cutting off God's people was so that they don't know that they're the Israelites. Do you know that the Bible is the written history of the children of Israel? You didn't know that? Let's go to Matthew 15 and 24. I'm gonna show you. Who do you believe Christ came for? Who do you believe that Christ came to the earth for?
Oh, I'm not really sure. I'm not religious.
Okay.
I don't know.
You believe, but you don't.
Yeah.
Bring this up.
Matthew chapter 15 and 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right? Christ answered and said that he's not sent to nobody but the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the only people that I see lost out here is the so-called black and native Indians, the blacks and Hispanics. English was forced on you. They called you a color out of a crayon box. In 1492, Christopher Columbus came to Puerto Rico, and he forced the Taino Indians into captivity and put them on slave ships. He took their language and forced Spanish onto them. He called them Puerto Rican. That's not their original ethnicity. The Jamaicans, they weren't always called Jamaican. The Haitians, the Dominicans, the Cubans, the Colombians, the Mexicans. We were all stripped from our heritage, our identity. God's enemies did this to us so that we won't know who we are. But Christ said he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the whole purpose that these other nations cut our identity was so that we won't know that we're the Israelites. But this is who Christ came for. Let me get Acts 13 and 1. Watch this.
Acts chapter 13 from the top. Now they were in the church that was at Antioch, certain prophets and teachers.
Right, so you had prophets and teachers at the church. Keep going.
As Barnabas and Simeon that were called nigger.
What were they called?
Nigger.
This is in the Bible. Look at this. It says, read it in the NLT. Here.
Acts 13 and 1 NLT. Now,
read it in yours, because I got to download the NLT on mine. I'll just mess with this one. What people are called niggas on this earth? Right?
Acts 13.
So we see the Romans, European Caucasians, the white people that are here in America today are the original Romans and the Greeks. They got on ships and they brought themselves over to the Americas to conquer and enslave the native Indians that went back to the western shores of Africa in 1619 and got the so-called Negro and brought them over here to the Americas so that we together can build up their cities. But back in the day, when they were teaching on the corners like how we are, the same Romans that are here today were over there calling the people teaching niggas. Now watch this.
Acts 13 and 1 NLT. Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch.
This is a different translation. This is called the NLT. We read the KJV, which gives us the Greek word nigga. Now we're reading the NLT. Listen, sister, this is your history, sister. Let me finish this out and I'm gonna get to your question right here.
Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch of Syria, where Barnabas Simeon called the black man.
So in the KJV, they was called niggas, and they transliterated that word to be the black man. Now, when we go into the Greek, this is the original Greek that was written. This is the Textus Receptus. This is the ancient manuscripts that we found that they transliterated into the English text. So when we see this word here, it looks like the word Niger if you look. When we click on it, Niger was never around at that time. Let's see how they said this word.
Charles G. 3526. Strong's G 3526. Niger. Niger.
This is the word, the Greek word that was used for the prophets that was teaching on corners. And we see them being called black. So I'm letting you know that this Bible is not a religious book. This Bible is a history of a particular group of people that lost their identity. And we can show even Jesus Christ had feet of bronze if it burned in a furnace. That would be a dark brown with woolly hair. And there's only one people that on this earth that has woolly hair, and that would be the so-called Negro, the same people that they call niggas today. If Christ was walking this earth, he would be a black man. This is our history. This is our history prior to slavery. Because America doesn't teach us our history prior to slavery. The only thing they teach us is that we were slaves. And it was beneficial. They teach us that slavery was beneficial. You have a question?
What religion is
This isn't a religion. As I explained, the Bible doesn't teach religion. The Bible is a history of a particular group of people, the children of Israel. Where are you from? You're from Mexico. Do you know that the colonizers, just like how they went to the western shores of Africa and colonized the Negro, they colonized the Mexican as well. You weren't always called Mexican.
Yeah, I know.
You were the Aztecs, right?
We were the Aztecs, then the Mayans.
Aztec, the Mayans, the Incas, right? Y'all had the telling the times, right? Y'all can tell the times through the stars. And the Bible prophesies that that's what you would be able to do. That's your gift from God. Watch this. Let me show you something. This is proof, because right here, what we have is a northern, you would be of the northern kingdom of Israel. You would be of the southern kingdom of Israel. You would be the real Jew. Let me show you something. Go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Right, there's a this is Christ. Christ said, I know the blasphemy of them that say they're Jews.
And are not.
They're not really Jews.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
So when we look at the history of the Jewish people, the Jewish got the land of Israel due to the Balfour Declaration by the British in 1948. They inherited that by a European Caucasian nation. It wasn't the original people of that land. The same Jewish people funded the slave ships that our forefathers went on. The same Jewish people run the music industry that pays us to rap about killing each other, raps about our woman glorifying to be whores, that raps about selling drugs. The Jewish man runs the prison system. And the prison system, 80% of the prison system is populated by black and brown. This is a crafty council. He said they made a crafty council against his people so that the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance and it will cut us off from being a nation. So the Bible isn't talking about a religion. The Bible is giving us the past, the present, and the future about his people. Where are you from?
I'm Irish, Puerto Rican.
What's your dad?
Puerto Rican.
Your dad is Puerto Rican, so you will be of the 12 tribes of Israel as well. You will be from the tribe of Issachar, you would be from the tribe of Ephraim as well as me, and you will be from the tribe of Judah. The Jews, the jewelry of God. Right? So watch this. Let me show you something about the Decalogue stone.
The Lost Lunas Decalogue stone
Los Lunas Decalogue stone, right?
is a horse associated with a large boulder on the side of Hidden Mountain near Los Lunas, New Mexico.
Right, so it's a boulder. The Decalogue stone is a boulder that they found in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Los Lunas, New Mexico. Right, keep going.
About 35 miles south of our Budaku, that bears a 9-line inscription.
It's a 9-line inscription
carved into a flat panel. The stone, also known as the Los Lunas Mystery Stone or Commandment Rock.
Right, it's the Commandment Rock. So this is an 8-ton boulder found in Albuquerque, New Mexico that has the 10 Commandments written in Paleo Hebrew. When did we start writing in Paleo Hebrew? Our history. This is our history. And it's proven that you are an Israelite, and she is an Israelite as well. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. So what is it that we must do understanding this? Right? Should we be celebrating this Christmas? Y'all know that Christmas is against God? Watch this. Go to Jeremiah 10 and 2. I'm going to show you. If we believe in God, we have to follow him, right? Right?
I celebrate Christmas because my religion. I say that
What is your religion?
I'm Christian.
You're a Christian. Do you follow the Bible? So do you follow God or you follow your religion? You follow the Bible. So if the Bible says that it's against God, should we follow what the Bible says or what your Christian pastor said?
Because in the Bible it says that Jesus was born like on Sunday, right? And that's because when what was his name? The angel Gabriel came down and he told
Sorry, bro, I'm looking.
right? And he told the Virgin Mary that God said that she would have a child and that she should name it Jesus as he would come to this world and save us and replace us for our sins.
So let me I understand what you're saying, but nowhere in the Bible gives us a date of Jesus' birth. It does?
No,
It doesn't. So why do we celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th?
just because we don't know the person's birthday
Did,
doesn't mean that it's
did Jesus tell us to celebrate his birthday? So why are we doing something that goes against what Jesus told us?
never said that we go against it.
But if he said that it's against what we should be doing, then it's against it. I'm gonna show you. Bring
I
this up.
don't have that much time, which is why I want to go quickly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you this scripture.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right, it's thus saith God, learn not the way of the heathen. As I explained, y'all are the children of Israel. So y'all can't follow the ways of these other nations. Keep going.
Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain.
Right, the customs of the people are vain. It's against God.
For one cutteth a tree
Or
out,
one cutteth a tree.
out of the forest,
When you get a Christmas tree, where you have to go? To the forest, and what you have to do? You gotta cut it, right? Keep going.
they work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Right? They use their hands with an axe to cut this tree down.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
What do you do when you bring that Christmas tree to the house?
I don't like it.
Well, usually when your family buys a Christmas tree and brings it home, what do they do with it?
I don't know.
Let's read that part again.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Don't you decorate the Christmas tree?
I wouldn't care about the Christmas tree.
I understand whether you care about it or not, but I want you to understand that it's against God. So we as a people shouldn't be celebrating this because our God is a jealous God, right? He's a jealous God. So if we're following the ways of somebody else and not God, isn't he going to punish us? Don't you see Mexico being punished? Don't you see?
Being punished.
Huh?
Everyone's being punished.
Who's-
Israel's getting bombed by
Yeah, but that's just starting to happen.
It's been happening.
It's not. It hasn't been happening.
What about World War I?
This is part of the Bible. But it's every nation. Do you know that the Mexicans own California? They own all the way, all the way to Colorado. But you're being called an immigrant, and they're holding. Donald Trump is holding your people, and he's going to bring the National Guard to deport your people back to Mexico. Is that happening to the Arabs? No, he's not declaring to deport the Arabs. What about the East Indians? What about the Chinese? Right? But you're indigenous to this land, and they're calling you an immigrant. They're sending your people back to the border. They're putting your people in cages. We can try to make similarities what's happening with other nations, but there's what we're going through, no other nation is going through. You know that there's the highest rate of Mexican on Mexican crime in Mexico? Mexicans kill more Mexicans than any other nation of people. I literally watched them cut women's arms off. This is all over the internet. Y'all, the Mexicans are some of the most gruesome people on this earth, and they do it to their own people. Do Chinese people do that to their own people? No. Do the East Indians do that to their own people? No. Do the Arabs do that to their own people? No. But we're doing it, and God said that that's what happened. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 54. This is something that God promised what would happen to us.
We don't have that much time. We have to go.
Did y'all get a flyer? Can we give y'all a flyer? Look up this information. Y'all are God's chosen people. All three of y'all are the princesses of Israel. You can't take it?
I can't. My parents told me I can't take other people's things.
You can't take literature of God? But if it was a Jehovah's Witness, would you be allowed to take it? No? Are y'all allowed to take this information, to look up this information for yourselves? No?
I can't take things from strangers.
God is known by his judgments. All right? So one way or another, y'all going to get to know God. Lord willing, that is, y'all get to know him by keeping his commandments. So we out here letting y'all know that y'all God's favorite people, y'all his chosen people. And y'all have to follow his ways and not the ways of these other nations. If not, he's going to continue to destroy our nation. So we love y'all. Y'all have a good day. All right? All praises to the Most High.